now listening to the Sportz Nutz.
Welcome, everybody. Come on. Matt, Shane, come on. You got to agree. That's a really, phenomenal introduction, right? I mean, not just because this gentleman right here beside me made it, but how cool of that was an introduction.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what? I'm just going to ignore you. Oh, but guys, we hope you had a fantastic weekend. Welcome to the Sportz Nutz. This is officially episode 158. But who's keeping count on that one, guys? We have a jam-packed episode. We have the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley on the football program. Y'all, they're in their inaugural season, and we're really excited to have them on. We follow all small programs as well as big, and just seeing the amount of success that has transpired at this program is absolutely amazing. But my man sitting next to me, though, Matt Thomas. Tell everybody how you doing, man.
Yeah, man, doing good. Everything's good. Good to see you guys. Glad you guys are doing well. Brandon, glad you're doing well. Shane, glad your mustache is growing back in. We should be good.
What?
Guys.
You're not gonna say anything about my facial hair,
Brandon? Okay. Oh, well, like you cut a little.
I trimmed it.
Yeah, you cut a little bit. You should still grow the beard, man. But
No.
What did they say? What did they say, man? Our show always has the 3 or 4
has the best
of
versions of facial hair. We have the no facial hair with Shane, except for this. We have the semi for me. Then we had the fade.
But
the people have said don't ever shave.
And then about 2 or 3 weeks when Shane's beard grows back here, man, he'll have it, man.
November is coming up.
Those dynasty beards. That's what Shane got. Shane, we have
folks, remember he had that long one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Shane, how are you doing, man? How was your weekend?
Man, it was good. I had the nephews up. Got to play around with them all weekend. So of course that's always fun getting to see them and hang out and be the funkle.
Fun uncle, by the way.
Yeah. Man, other than that, man, it's good, man. Ready to get things going tonight. Get this week over with. It's peak, leaf changing color season up here. So might ride up into the mountain this weekend, maybe up on the trail and go take a little bit of a look around, see what we got going on.
Nice. Oh man, it was actually a pretty good weekend, by the way, Matt. I had to wear the threads today after the amazing win last night by our Atlanta Falcons. Yes.
Hey,
very excited about that.
Ain't nothing to it but to do it. But nah, man.
That's right.
I was a little scared though in the second half. We didn't score.
A couple of friends are like, "Don't let the Bills come back." And I go, "You're never out of it if you have number 17." And by the way, and if your coach is Raheem Morris, you still are never out of it in general. I mean, you could be at 45-0 and you still lose.
What is going on with this guy and his timeout management skills, man? We should have scored at the end of the first half or something, man. I mean, oh my gosh, But story for another day, man.
That's
if we would have lost that game,
dude. Oh yeah. Ooh. It would have been a mutiny in the entire city of Atlanta.
And I know everybody felt it too. Everybody felt it, man, because we couldn't score in the second half, and it was here we go again with Atlanta. Here we go again. So
I will say I will say this, Matt. When Cassie was talking to a coworker, and she said, "Just so you know, my husband's watching the Falcons game. He might be screaming in just a minute. Be prepared." And literally on cue, I thought Drake London got in that end zone at the half. He was literally 6 inches away from the goal line. Oh, it was a fantastic win for the Atlanta Falcons. Really excited. Guys, this weekend we saw some crazy stuff happen. The college football mainstream has had headlines left and right, not just for teams winning, but we saw several big named coaches get their pink slips. One in particular, Matt and I both discussed this in season 2 of our show, the wonderful Sportz Nutz, when we talked about Trent Dilfer. We'll talk a little bit more about that one in a little bit. Shane just alluded to it, but Seattle took a massive step in the right direction for this historic franchise. What am I talking about? We're talking about the Seattle Mariners. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Y'all, something absolutely amazing happened in college football for Eddie George and the Bowling Green Falcons. We'll talk about what significance happened. And then there's a real strange week this week, though, in the NFL. We saw some games that had absolutely massive blowout, like victories against them. We saw some crazy injuries. We'll talk about. Shane has a sports story. Matt has a sports story, and our honorable mention. That being said, though, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to pay close attention. This one, as you see above me, is the logo. University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. This gentleman we're bringing on, his name is Mr. Jonah Goldberg. We're eagerly excited to talk with him. He is in backstage. All right, so I had to look this up. I'm going to ask him how to pronounce the mascot name, the Vaquero. I'm going to ask him how they pronounce it. Jonah, man, how are you doing, sir?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so everybody wants to know, how do you guys say your mascot name? The Vaquero, Vaquero, what is it?
Vaqueros.
Vaqueros.
Yeah.
Vaqueros.
So it's so honored that you are coming on our show. You know, like I said, we follow all small programs. I went to a mid-major. Matt is the only one that went to a major. Shane went to a small college as well. We have had the absolute utmost respect for all small programs. That's because that's just where it means more. You know, we covered Wofford, Furman. We're covering you guys. We actually have next week. We have Newberry College and Maryville College both coming on. We've had Reinhardt University, University of Hawaii. We're huge in the University of Hawaii. We do so much for them. We're actually being honored by the program. But we're so honored that you took the time out of your day. I know it's still technically daytime over there, but you know, this is actually y'all's inaugural season for football, and you guys are doing fantastic. You're 5-1, and the ever popular P word has been mentioned with you all. And what P word is that? It's called the playoffs. Y'all have been mentioned for that. But what can you attribute this success to this season for y'all? I mean, this is amazing. 5-1 on your inaugural season.
I mean, nobody saw this coming, right? Like,
yeah,
you're a first-year team. You just hope you win a game. And, you know, hey, look, we played 3 non-D1s out of our first 4 games. But our head coach, Travis Bush, tells the story of when he was at UTSA. He helped to start that program, too. And their first game, like us, they spent 2 years preparing for it. They win the game, big deal. Well, their second game, they had D3 McMurray come in, and they lost. And I mean, they weren't supposed to lose that game, but after all that to win the first game, it was hard to come back for number 2. And he kept telling the program over and over, if that's a lesson you all need to learn, I'm happy to let you learn it. And instead, our team for their second game, they went on the road to Prairie View A&M, so their first Division I opponent, and they had the first 3 scores of the game and then fell behind and then came back to win in the fourth quarter. And we realized this team is made of something. And after a couple more blowouts, it was kind of amazing. They go to Southeastern, who's now 22nd in the coaches poll, and they fell behind early. They had that little, oh my goodness, this is the Southland moment, and it was 21-0 before you even looked up. And then the team decided, hey, you know what? We can play with these guys. And over the final 37 minutes of the game, outscored them 31-24. So It was quite a change. And watching that second half unfurl, I realized that this is a team that can play with anybody. And then watching the week 6 game against Houston Christian and watching them just dismantle a team that had come in with a really strong defense and put up 27 points after a low scoring first half. And I realized, hey, HCU, I'm sure, had this game on their calendar as a win, right? First year Division I program. This is a win. This is a conference win. And then we went and said, no, this is a win for us. And we entered the bye week 5-1, receiving votes for the 3rd time this year. And I mean, my God, if we win this week at 18th ranked Lamar, we have to start thinking about what happens if we're playing a playoff game.
You know, and I want to let everybody know also, shout out to everybody in Terrell, Texas, 95.5 KFCE as we broadcast live here. Not too far down the road from you guys, actually. But, you know, like this is truly a magical run indeed. You're right. Like, you know, when a new program you're expecting to hopefully, fingers crossed, you get one victory out of that one. You know, we had our good friend Mark Vaughn from Anderson University. They only started a couple of years ago as well, and they did pretty good their inaugural season. But you guys are absolutely dismantling basically everybody you play. And we cannot be more excited for you. Shane, I know you have a question for Jonah. Go right ahead, man. Oh, you're muted. Unmute your mic. There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
I got you. Oh, my fault about that. As Brandon mentioned, this is your guys' inaugural season. Can you kind of give us a little bit of insight, kind of around the program on what it kind of was like to build up for that 2 years, and then also kind of a little bit of insight on how the university and all has accepted the challenge of being a football school now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what our university did that was really smart was we gave ourselves a lot of runway. This is something that we've been talking about. I'm on the senior staff at UTRGV Athletics, and our first conversation was April of 2020 of all times, right? Start of the pandemic. And that's actually when the first time we talked about it was as a senior staff. And I know conversations had probably started before that. And as we were going through the pandemic, we realized something quickly is that we were going to come out of it stronger than we were before and anybody else. So, a lot of schools were laying off people. They were furloughing people. We weren't. We were fine. Our president, Dr. Guy Bailey, he planned for the unplannable, and we had a good financial base, and we were able to come out of this with higher enrollment than we did before and with just more might. And as we realized that, we thought, okay, this is our opportunity. Let's start actually having conversations. And we started looking at, okay, what do we have to do? It's a student referendum. And at the time we were in the WAC. The WAC was bringing back football. So suddenly we had a conference home if we wanted it. And so now we're in 2021 when we're starting to have these conversations about what it's going to look like. And by the fall, we're holding a student referendum. And it was a scary fall because all around Texas especially, but in other parts of the country as well, we were watching student referendums fail, and they were failing miserably. And we, in that climate, that's a little scary to think, well, what's going to happen here? And our students voted 60.5% in favor of, increasing their fee to start football. And at that point, think about it, that's the fall of 21. We didn't start till 25. So we had 4 years to really plan and make sure that we were going to do it right. It was a year until we hired our head coach, and that gave him over 900 days to build a program, to recruit, and to be a part of the planning process as we were building a brand new practice facility, our Vaqueros Performance Center. And he kept saying, hey, if we need to cut costs somewhere, take it from the coaches area, give it to the athletes. And, that helped us to make sure we were getting all the right things in there that would allow him to recruit. And he slowly started hiring his staff. I think he added 4 assistants that in the first few months. So they started recruiting, and they had a whole year to recruit. I mean, a year and a half really. And before they had any athletes on campus. And then, you bring in that first class, we ended up with like 90 kids here in the fall of 24. And Coach Bush told me that he was hoping for like 40, maybe 50.
Wow.
Wow.
He did not expect the quality of recruit that we were going to be able to get. And there were a lot of freshmen that we were getting that he figured should have had opportunities elsewhere, especially on scholarship, who were going to just come walk on here because those opportunities weren't materializing. And I'm sure the transfer portal has something to do with that. So we brought in a nice core and practiced for the semester, and then had our first foray into the transfer portal, and a few more freshmen come in. And so suddenly you're starting to balance out the classes, and we have like 12 or 13 Power 5, Power 4 transfers who were able to come in, and also transfer from other places. So suddenly we have some leadership. We actually have 10 grad students and 5 more redshirt seniors. So 15 guys that are playing their final year of football here in our first year program, which is something they didn't have at UTSA when they started. It was basically freshmen because you didn't have the portal yet. So we put ourselves in this position where we could have a team that could be good right away. And that first year team got to watch the Vaqueros Performance Center being built. The fields were already ready. They have a 100-yard turf field and a 100-yard grass field. So they were able to practice, and they had a temporary facility that they could use while they were watching it come up. And then week before the first game, they got to move into their 45,000 square foot practice facility that has all the amenities that you could ever want, especially at the FCS level. I mean, it's got to be one of the best out there.
I love that. Matt, go ahead.
Awesome. Hey, Jonah, once again, man, thanks for coming on and, coming on to our show, man. We really appreciate it. So, you guys have been building momentum across multiple sports, but tell us, like, what's the current energy like around the athletic department right now?
There's a lot of energy in athletics around UTRGV. The momentum, it really did start with when you go back to the announcement of football. You can look at that time as when everything else just started to explode. Now, baseball was always a popular sport here and it had historic success, but it wasn't quite what it has become. As it's that theory that the rising tide lifts all boats, and it's proven very true. Our baseball team ranked top 30 in attendance last year. Our volleyball team is selling out matches. It's incredible to watch. It's affecting everything around here. And now, in the Rio Grande Valley, we have about 70 high schools and Friday night lights in football, right? High school football. It's a big deal. Mm-hmm. And everybody goes to these games on Friday nights and they're wearing their whatever high school colors. And, they're divided, right? And now on Saturdays, they all come together. They're all wearing orange and they're together. And it's been this uniting force around the valley. And it's gotten people so excited, and especially the students. They are loud in that student section. We reserved a quarter of our stadium. We seat about 12,000, and we've got about 3,000 student seats. And they are coming in, and they're overloading their bleacher area, and they're getting into it from the time the visiting team takes the field just to warm up, and just booing them mercilessly. And it's incredible because we are starting to become that kind of school that we really weren't before, right? Like our big crowds, especially baseball, they were mostly community-based, and now it's becoming campus-based as well.
You guys have a very big matchup coming up against now the number 24 nationally ranked Lamar. I believe it's also going to be aired on ESPN Plus. Now, how does one go into preparing for such a large matchup as it is with Lamar?
Well, Coach Bush talked last week during the bye week about how things are going well. So now is the time to go harder. He likened it to when you are on a bike going downhill. The easiest thing to do is to take your feet off the pedals, right? Because you're already accelerating. And he said, no. Now we pedal. And so we're going to focus on fixing anything that's not right, on tweaking things, on just trying to still continue to get better. And sure, it was a little lighter last week because of the bye and an opportunity to try and take care of some of the bumps and bruises that happen during the course of a football season. But rather than let up, it was a time to, we got to make sure that we're ready for this Lamar game. I don't think this team walks into a game thinking, oh gosh, this is Lamar. They walked into that Southeastern game a little tentative. And after they got past that first 13 minutes, they realized, we can do this. And I think that you're going to see something similar. And the other thing they do is they try to treat every game the same. They have the same routine. Like they're very routine oriented. Nothing changes from week to week. They'll watch film. They'll do their regular scout, and they won't look at Lamar like, oh, this is a good team, so we got to be different. They'll look at what does Lamar do well, what do they not do well, and how do we attack them? Certainly, like you look back to the HCU game, we knew that the run game was going to be important, and sure enough, our quarterback runs for 95 yards net and ends up rushing for 2 touchdowns, and for the first time all year, passed for under 200 yards because we didn't need passing, we needed rushing. So there's so much video on everybody at this point that you can build a plan and figure out what you got to do. And Lamar had to play this past week, so we had the advantage of being able to watch them, as they played East Texas A&M and scored twice in the final seconds to come away with with the win. So maybe there's something you learn from that.
Absolutely, and it is only going to get better from here on out for you all. And I mean, younger programs, it's a lot more inviting to go to. Shane, go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, kind of as you mentioned, kind of taking it all the way back to 2019, you guys kind of, were building up the football program and all, and getting in serious talks. But also another thing came up, and I believe was pretty cool. But the Rally the Valley kind of started. Can you kind of give our listeners and people watching, kind of idea what that's about?
Sure. So the day that Chase Conk, our athletic director, had his introductory press conference, one of the things he said was, "We're going to rally the Valley." And everybody listening caught that. And we quickly turned that into something on our internal channels. And I don't know if he imagined how that was going to take off, but it quickly became a rallying cry for athletics and then the entire university. And it was kind of cool because previously, I don't think that we necessarily had a consistent marketing message between athletics and the university, but that Rally the Valley slogan just took off and everybody wanted to be a part of it. And what did it mean? Was it community service based? And certainly there was a lot of that. We've consistently in the top 20 in community service in Division I, but it ended up being so much more than that. We kept saying, we want to rally the Valley. And it's not just we need you to support us, right? Like a lot of sports teams or athletics departments saying, we need you to give money, right? That's what you hear, even if that's not what's being said. Whereas we're saying, we're going to prove our worth to you. We're going to go help you. So we started by making sure we're out there in the community all the time and doing whatever we can to help people. And then that's going to make them want to come and be part of us. And we just tried to build this culture valley-wide. I mean, it's a big market. We are the 5th largest media market in the state of Texas. And the only reason that people don't hear about us as much is because there isn't necessarily a huge city. There's a lot of smaller cities. But I mean, our population is well over 1.2 million, and we're bigger than the El Paso area. And a lot of people have heard of UTEP. So this is saying we're going to rally the Valley, and we're going to use UTRGV to elevate the entire Rio Grande Valley. And that's a big part of our goal, especially with football, right? It's that front porch that will allow people nationally, like on this show, to learn about what is the Rio Grande Valley, where is it, and to suddenly Google what is the Rio Grande Valley and bring a positive light to a wonderful region.
I love that, like the whole mantra on that one, and last year we saw a big thing going on in basketball, with University of Texas A&M Corpus Christi. They did phenomenal things. Hey, we have a question for one of our audience members for you.
Sure.
This is from our good friend Tiger Stripes. Brian Pettit wants to know, what is it like on a game day at Texas Rio Grande Valley?
Ooh, game day is electric. So tailgating, right now our games start at 7 p.m. and tailgating starts at 2 p.m. But honestly, the day starts at 10 a.m. Our local ABC affiliate does a game day show. It's like college game day, and they do that at 10 to 11 a.m. before every home game. I don't know how many schools have a game day show every single week on their campus, but we have that. So we start with that, and then in the tailgate area, usually in the hour leading up to the game, but sometimes a little earlier, depending on what else they have on TV, another local station is doing something called Vaqueros Tailgate Fiesta. So we've got multiple shows airing every week on game day about us. And then, so tailgating's at 2, and there's a lot of tailgating space, including space for students. And I think the coolest part though, is the corporate sponsor tailgate zone. So that area, it's like going to a big convention where you're kind of like walking through the hall and people are just trying to give you stuff, or you can go play cornhole or whatever. There's free food, free whatever giveaways. And we have 40 corporate sponsors set up in this area of the lot where they're just giving away stuff. It's incredible to be able to walk through there. And some of them are playing music, some have food, some have games. Everybody loves that. It's such a great time. Then at 4:45, our team arrives and they walk through the tailgate zone where they greet fans, the Vaqueros walk. I know a lot of schools do that. And then they head into the locker room. There's a pep rally. We have an amphitheater in our tailgate area that can actually seat 2,000. And we'll we'll do a pep rally in there right after the Vaqueros walk with the marching band, with cheerleaders, dance, and the spirit squads. And then after that, 5:30, gates open. People start coming in. There's, they can go sit if they want, or a lot of people like to peruse the concourse. We have a nice team shop that I know gets a lot of traffic, and then so many different food options. There's this one setup in one corner that it's this barbecue, and I'm there hours early, and I can smell them cooking, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I really wish I could get some right now. It smells so good, and I imagine that they do incredible business. So, people will do that, and then 7:00 or 7:02 for ESPN Plus purposes, we kick off, and it's people are screaming their heads off, they're cheering, and there's so much energy in the stadium. It is so much fun. And it's just this incredible day for everybody that gets to come.
Matt, go ahead.
Hey, Jonah. So, kind of transitioning a little bit to basketball. Your men and women's basketball programs have both been on very interesting trajectories. What should fans expect heading into this season?
Well, certainly our women's team, we have an 8th-year head coach in Lane Lord, and this past year was one of their better years. They had a winning record. They won, I think both of our teams won 16 games last year. And he's got a good core of returners, including Charlotte O'Keefe, who not only averaged a double-double, she was a player who had multiple 20-20 games. And I think the only player who had more than her was Morrow over at LSU. So we've got a pretty good big there that people like to watch. And Coach Lord also recruited a few players who played on different countries' national teams. So we got some really strong recruits in. On the men's side, men's basketball has become this big transfer thing, right? It's a lot of newcomers, a lot of transfers. Unfortunately, that's the state of I think men's college basketball at the mid-major level now. And I've gone through and watched practice a few times, and there's some shooters and there's some size. And last year there were some injury bugs, especially among the bigs, that I think really hurt this team, even though they won 16 games. And I think that they have a chance to be better. Coach Cale Fennell, in his second year, was telling me the other day that, and I asked him, I was like, well, you won 16 games, so what's next? And he said, well, I mean, that's nice that we won 16 games and had a winning record last year, but that's the floor. We're not going to pat ourselves on the back for that. We should be winning conference championships. And that is his singular goal. I think he's a great coach, a great person. So I'm really excited for what these two basketball seasons can bring. I really think that, we're about to turn that corner. Our men's team was turning the corner a few years ago. It was right around pandemic time. When the pandemic hit, we were the number 2 seed in the Western Athletic Conference tournament. And I thought we had a great chance to win it. And then, the conference tournament gets canceled. And, the next year, truncated schedule. Then our head coach, Lou Hill, shockingly dies during the season. And I think that we didn't really recover from that for a few years. And it had nothing, it had nothing to do with the coaches that followed. I don't think that was a win. I don't think anybody could win in that situation, because that took our program back a long way. And what are you supposed to do in a situation like that? But I think now we're starting to come out of that and become the program that we were becoming a few years ago.
I know the Western Athletic Conference so well because the University of Hawaii, my school, went there, played it regularly. I looked at the basketball as well. You guys do now. I don't know if it's an exhibition, but regardless, you're still playing Baylor. Then you also are playing Boise State this year in basketball. And what does this say, though, to everybody about the Southland Conference as a whole? And could we start seeing more Mountain West Conference? Could we see Big Ten? I mean, could we even see SEC teams be scheduled for matchups against Rio Grande Valley?
I think anything's possible. I mean, we're certainly always trying to to schedule the best games that we can. One of the things that we try to do, we try to get home games, and that can be hard sometimes because, we're down there, right? I mean, it's not a secret. And we have Austin P and UT Arlington coming in this year, but we also have to schedule a few non-D1s because think about it, if you're another school and you agree to come here, you're going to travel usually decent distance. It might cost you a little bit, and you come here and we beat you. Oh boy. So that's sometimes a risk that coaches aren't always willing to take. And I get it. But you could see that based on our schedule with a few Power 4 schools in there like Illinois and Baylor, that Coach Vanella likes to try and schedule the best he can. He wants a challenge. He wants to see this team grow. On the women's side, we've got Houston and Texas coming to town this year, which is insane. And we're going to host the Texas Longhorns on December 20th and the Houston Cougars on November 20th. Texas on December 10th. But regardless, it's for that Texas game, we're going to play at Bird Ogden Arena, which is bigger. Our on-campus facility seats 2,700, but this off-campus facility that hosts the G League team can seat like 8,000 or 9,000. And I know our goal is to have over 7,000, which would be the largest basketball crowd in the history of our region. So, and I think that's realistic. Bringing in a top 5 team, and we hosted them actually a few years ago and had 6,800-ish in the building. So hopefully we can do that again. And our women's program has done a good job of being able to bring in those teams over the last few years. And it's exciting to see that kind of growth.
Absolutely. Shane, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, we saw, I believe, August this past year that the Southland Conference and ESPN announced that they are extending the media rights deal through 2031, I do believe, and guaranteeing 5 nationally televised games on ESPN and their linear networks. What does that say for the Southland Conference and Rio Grande Valley, as a program and what that media rights deal does?
I think it says a lot about the strength of the Southland. I think that we're seeing that the Southland is increasing its quality of teams. I think our athletics overall is. If you look at our football, right? We could be a 3-team conference this year. 4 is probably being too aggressive, but 3, I think that's realistic. We should certainly have a minimum of 2. Now, who knows what will happen over the next few weeks, but I think that's really possible. So you want to, when you're scheduling your FCS games, you want to make sure you're having the best FCS teams available. And, you've got us, you've got the Big Sky, right? So you got to make sure that you're getting those games on. And then certainly from a basketball standpoint, we've had a lot of really entertaining games over the last few years, and I think that there's a lot of parity in the conference. And when you have parity, that creates exciting and entertaining games. It creates a good product. You don't want to see blowouts. People don't want to watch blowouts, but you can watch this because every game's going to be close, and that's fun. And then, hey, from our perspective, we're always hoping to get a baseball game on national TV, right? Because when we're drawing 6,000 fans out there and consistently beating Power 4 schools, we want the country to see what we can offer from that.
Matt, go ahead.
Hey, Jonah, I kind of want to touch on the student-athlete experience really quickly. So how do you guys help your athletes transition beyond sports, whether it's like academics, career development, or like giving back to the community?
Yeah, so we have a life skills program where we'll bring in speakers to help our student-athletes learn things from it used to be how to balance a checkbook. I don't know if anybody still does that. I do, but I'm a guy. So
you're telling your age there, Jonah. Telling your age there, man.
A little bit, but financial literacy, right? That's important. We've partnered
exactly
with a local bank because these kids need to know this stuff, regardless of NIL, which we certainly want to teach them about how to do that. And we had an NIL night the other day, and our quarterback has done a great job with NIL. So I think he's hopefully able to help some of our other guys. And I think he actually helped a few of his offensive linemen get NIL deals recently. But, we're always trying to see, okay, where can we place you? Like when we find out that we have a student athlete that's looking for an internship, for example, we're like, okay, who do we know, right? We have so many contacts in the community. Is there anything we can do to help there? And we have plenty of people who they want to hire athletes. And we have a decent number of athletes who end up staying because they'll find an opportunity down here. So, like we've done mixers or like cocktail hour type things where you get to actually meet like corporate partners and donors for the purpose of trying to make those connections and build your LinkedIn. And we've also done mock interviews. I've gotten to be a part of a few of those. And I've actually found a few years ago, I found a sideline reporter out of a mock interview. We had a women's golfer who told me that she was interested in being on the air, but it was hard for her to kind of get those opportunities because of her athletic schedule. And I said, hey, I need a sideline reporter for basketball. Are you interested? And it kind of turned into this incredible opportunity for her. And she got to find out if this was something she really wanted to do. So anything we can do to try and help these kids, we're always going to try to do.
And that's where it really matters the most, is just trying to, help everybody get the chance to develop. And I love that. Before we let you go, Jonah, can you let everybody, well, first of all, let you know, you have 3 new fans for sure right here, and me, Matt, and Shane for Texas Rio Grande Valley. We're going to cheer you guys on, not only in football, but men's and women's basketball and baseball. So you've got more fans on that end, but can you let everybody know where they can find you all on social media, and what is the next steps? Obviously, you guys are playing Lamar, but what is the next game after that, y'all, that you would like to share about everybody?
Sure. So you can find all the information you could ever want at goutrgv.com. It's got everything on every team, and our social media. We're on Facebook. UTRGV Athletics is the main account, but then each one of our teams has its own Facebook. The same is true on X, where we're Go UTRGV, and Instagram, we're also Go UTRGV. Threads, we're Go UTRGV. And then each team has its own thing, like UTRGV football, UTRGV MBB, UTRGV WBB, UTRGV baseball, or
that's a lot of letters.
Yeah, the easiest thing to do is go to goutrgv.com on our website. If you hover over teams, and it shows you the drop-down menu of all of our teams. It'll show you the logos for Facebook, X, and Instagram. And if you click, it'll just take you to the right place, and that'll help you to find all the right things. With our football team, after we play Lamar this Saturday, we've got homecoming October 25th against Incarnate Word, that's a team that was in the NCAA quarterfinals a year ago. They were preseason top 5, and they played a really tough schedule. They've fallen out of the rankings in part because of that, and they haven't necessarily excelled against that schedule, but they're still a good team. And I'm very curious to see them in person. And it's a huge opportunity for the UTRGV Vaqueros football team, because, when they scheduled that initially, before I had any idea what our team would look like or what Incarnate Word might look like this year, I thought, we scheduled Incarnate Word for homecoming? Well, wow. And now I'm looking at it and saying, maybe. I don't know, because they're hard to figure out, but I don't feel as bad about it as I did.
I bet.
At least there's a chance now.
Absolutely. And I will tell you this, Incarnate Ward does have a very famous alumni who plays in the NFL, was the number 1 pick in the draft. Yeah, Cam Ward was it. But, Jonah, I really appreciate you, man. It means the world to come on our show and discuss this up-and-coming new football program, and we're here to support you guys. And everybody who's listening, if you guys can, please go on to there and follow them and help support this up-and-coming program and make them become the best possible FCS program that they can, because we'd like to see you guys, again, come on our shows. Does that sound good?
Sounds great. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Jonah, you take care of yourself, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, you too.
All right, Jonah.
Guys, that is, first off, that's pretty neat to really learn about this program. They're up and coming, but we are here to support them. So I want to go into this right away, and I'm excited about this. This past weekend, Matt and Shane college football made headlines, and it's not just for the right reasons. We saw some big name individuals get their pink slips. Most notably, James Franklin got his pink slip and his nice $50 million buyout going on that one, which, by the way, it was detailed in his contract that if he gets fired, he has to get a new job in either media or at another coaching, and he has to make more than $8 million a year annually in order to continue getting all of his money from Penn State pretty interesting. But you know what, Matt? There was a name that was also let go that you and I talked about early on in season 2 of the Sportz Nuts. Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer got his pink slip, and I made a little TikTok live, and I said I think after this game where they're playing Florida Atlantic, this is the last time we'll see Dilfer on the sidelines at UAB. And boy, was it ever prevalent. He too received his pink slip. Now he did give his praise and thankfulness to the Alabama Birmingham area for allowing him the opportunity to be the coach. But my question, I'm going to go right away to you, Matt, is who else could be the next domino to fall in the college football world?
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. With college football, man, it's just so up and down. You just don't know. I mean, I don't know why a lot of these ADs choose to fire coaches. I mean, well, it all comes down to winning. They want to win. We know why, but you don't know the specific reasons as to why. We know how it is in the NFL. In the NFL, you got politics, you got this, you got that. But in college, man, it's different, man. But I don't know, man. I can see maybe, what
about Bill Belichick? Do you think he gets let go?
I don't think Bill Belichick gets let go this season. I think he's new contract. He has too much power within that organization, and it's his first year. We see some first year coaches just get let go, here and there. But with Bill Belichick, it's a different story. He's a proven NFL great coach. He's going to have a lot longer leash than some of these other guys. But I tell you what, man, we'll see what happens if Ohio State can't beat Michigan. We'll see what happens with that, man. I mean, I don't know. Oklahoma's took a bad loss this week. Florida State, Florida State.
I'm so glad you meant that. That's a name I've heard actually very much, and Shane, I'm pretty sure you've heard it too. Mike Norvell, he's on some eggshells.
Yeah, man. They should have lost that. Like they should have lost that, man. They should have lost that. Yeah.
What do you think, Shane? Who do you see as the next domino to fall in the ranks of college football that get their pink slip?
I could see all.
Wait, who did you say, Matt?
I said all Carolina coaches except for Belichick.
I could definitely see the two Florida State schools being in trouble here between Billy Napier and Mike Norvell. I was just talking earlier today with somebody, and I said, is Norvell out if they don't do good? I mean, it's got to be the answer here.
Yes,
they really can't continue at this pace. Of course, Florida, they can't continue at this pace either with Napier. Of course, they're still paying a buyout, I do believe.
Yeah.
So that just hurts even worse for them. But definitely those two coaches, I could definitely see being replaced after the end of this year. Napier more so than Norvell, but if they
never know nowadays, though.
If they only win one or two more games, I could see him definitely being out, especially after the promise that they had going into the season and the start of the season and all. I could definitely see that definitely being a final straw for them. But I'm just I'm sitting here kind of licking my chops that some of these good coaches are being let go. Being a Hokie fan, I
think what's saving them right now is that their losses aren't bad losses. They're losing. Like I think they lost to Virginia by 8 points. Lost to Miami by 6 points. They just lost to Pitt by 3 points. I think that's kind of what's saving him right now. And like you said, Shane, that strong start to the season that they beat Alabama. I think they mollywopped that Texas team, man, by 77-3 or something like that. And then they beat Kent State. They mollywopped Kent State. I think that's kind of right. So you got 3 up, 3 down. So it's oh man.
But here's a crazy stat though on that, Matt and Shane. It's been over 700 days since Florida State won a ACC game at home. Think about that for a second. 700 days. That's alarming. And you know what? You actually are right on that one, Shane. My question is why hasn't Florida moved on from Napier anytime soon? Because The dude is just digging himself into a grave that he is never going to get out of at Florida. Yeah, I understand you want to schedule all these perennial powerhouse teams to get that notoriety, get the money, and blah, blah, blah. But, man, you are absolutely getting demolished left, right, up, down, and any other direction in between. And it's time, I think. Here's the dominoes that they're going to fall. Napier has to go. Mike Norvell, I think, is also on his way out. I think Bill Belichick, with his low buyout of $1.5 million, is going to happen. I think he gets done at the end of this year. There's too much going on. Hulu pulled their documentary on UNC, and that was a massive, massive contract that was pulled. Then Hard Knocks was pulled from UNC. Yes.
Really?
Ooh. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Massive I think it was like a $20 million influx of money coming in from Hulu, and then also Hard Knocks was going to bring supposedly going to bring $100 million into the program, and
so that would be the first. That would have been the first Hard Knocks college team, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That was the first one, and they all left.
That's 100% certain that they pulled those.
Yes. No, it's 200% certain they pulled them. They've canceled everything about it. And here's the crazy thing. Okay. Their boosters have stopped donating money to the NIL components. They've stopped donating money to the program.
Hold on. So
the tickets are literally, you could go, if you go on right now, you'll see tickets for $5.
So you mean to tell me, in game one, you see Michael Jordan in the stands, every UNC alumni in the stand. I think I saw Hubert Davis somewhere out there.
Yep.
I saw Sean May. I saw Raymond Felton. I saw all these old UNC guys for game one. You mean to tell me they're not there at game 7?
Nope.
Game 6?
They're not. The entire fan base has turned on the football program.
Games, guys. I see this is crazy.
But this is the most points Bill Belichick has ever given up his entire coaching career.
This is college. It's new.
Yeah.
He's in a different league. He's just gotten back into coaching. I don't understand why people are so going crazy over this, man. I mean, this year one is year one.
I think it's a transitional period. I can see it being a one and done with him. I really can. You can tell he doesn't want to be there anymore. He's made these comments, these subtle comments, but his mannerisms, his demeanor, everything is just, I don't really. His
mannerisms and demeanor are the same.
He doesn't want to be here.
Win Super Bowls with the Patriots.
Oh yeah. So you can see he doesn't really want to be there anymore.
Yeah.
And he also had to deal with
did good.
Here's the thing that he did on his press conferences. He said, just go out there and have fun and play the game. That's literally his instruction. Go out there and play the game. But if you go look at the episodes of Hard Knocks, he's over there dropping every curse word imaginable. He's throwing things at his coaches. He's arguing with his coaches on there.
Wait.
Yes, this is real. What? This is very real.
So Hard Knocks already started filming. How did I miss this? So they already filmed and had episodes of Hard Knocks with UNC?
Yep.
Shane, is this valid?
This is valid, and this is one of the reasons why I would love to get a hold of some of the footage that Hulu and HBO has now.
Are they saying that he was arguing with the coaches, or is that video?
Oh no, you show it. He is absolutely he even gets into an argument with his son, who is the OC, legit, at his face, screaming. And then he's also asking Jordan for Jordan's opinions on how to coach a daggum game. What are we doing here? It's a bleep show. It's worse than the Deion Sanders.
Yeah, that sounds like he's having fun. That sounds like he's just having fun out there, man. Collecting the check. That's what that sounds like. See, this is new information. I did not know any of this information. Yeah. This is new information here. And speaking of Deion, I told you they always win a game they're not supposed to win. So hey, there you go.
Anyway, all right, let's talk. Let's switch it up. I'm gonna go to baseball because I'm really excited what's going on in baseball, Shane. Seattle took a massive step in the right direction with this historic franchise, and they won the American League Divisional Series. Now they're facing Toronto, and I believe they've won 2 games already against Toronto in the ALCS. Now, and similarly, we saw the Brew Crew. They beat the Cubs in the NLDS. Now they're facing the Dodgers in the NLCS, and oh my God, this is going to be epic matchups for sure. Shane, who do you think wins their wins for their respective pennants in the AL and the NL?
I don't know. It's hard to go against Seattle right now. They just kind of have everything clicking. As we've mentioned plenty of times on here before, everything's got to be clicking for that team in October for it to go right and for you to win the pennant and possibly the series. So I like Seattle. I do think Toronto is going to get back on track. In the next game, it's just hard to keep that offense, especially with that pitching, this quiet for so long, like they have. But Seattle's come up with a great game plan to get it done. Man, I'm pulling for the Brewers, of course, but I think this series is ultimately going to come down to starting pitching, and the Dodgers just have all the starting pitching that you need when it comes to playoff time, especially, when you consider that Clayton Kershaw's coming out of the bullpen in the playoffs.
That's
year.
a weird thing to think about, by the way, that Clayton Kershaw, one of the greatest arms to ever play the game of baseball, the bullpen.
Yeah, it's coming out the bullpen. So, and I mean, similar clubs, have made similar moves in the past, when they have heavy starting pitching, especially when it comes down to the postseason. But I think this has got a good chance to go 7 games in this National League Series. So I think it's going to be a good one to watch. But I'm going to pull for the Brewers in this one. Hopefully see a Mariners-Brewers, kind of a small market team, small ball kind of
Look at Matt
World
shaking his
Series.
head. But here's the crazy thing too. Also, before we go to Matt, this is the most wins, including the postseason, that the Mariners have realistically had in most of our life. Probably Shane, but not Matt and I, but definitely a lot of other people. Because the last time this team was relevant was 2001. Take it for what you take. But Matt, what do you think? Who do you think wins their respectable pennants? Do you think Seattle does? Do you think Toronto does? And what about the NL? Do you think the Brew Crew, or do you think the Dodgers win the pennant?
Well, I mean, the Dodgers haven't really faced any kind of adversity. I haven't really faced any kind of, I won't say challenge up to this point, man. Up to the Brewers. I think the Brewers will give them a run for their money, but ultimately, I just feel like the Dodgers are just gonna. The refs are going to let the Dodgers lose. The Dodgers are going to make it to the World Series, man. I don't see the Brewers taking them down. I think Dodgers they're already up a game on them already.
Yeah. Dodgers are up 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, man. We'll see what happens today. I got a good feeling Dodgers probably going to take this one today too. Oh my God.
Now the Brewers are up. Yeah, granted it is in the first.
Yeah, I think they're up like 1-0 or something like that right now.
1-0, yeah.
As far as Seattle goes, man, I think it'll be a nice little. A clean sweep. I don't think Toronto is going to be able to. Toronto shouldn't. I'm not going to say Toronto shouldn't be there. I'm not going to say that, But I think Toronto's just going to be a little bit outclassed, and that's crazy when you say Kershaw coming off the bullpen. That's
I know
crazy.
that's so weird,
That's
and
crazy.
He's retiring at the end of this year. By the way,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
but,
his last run.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be the Mariners and the Dodgers for the World Series, and I think that is going to be the matchup that we were all waiting for this playoffs. These playoffs.
A big dumper versus Shohei. It's going to be fun. Absolutely. All right, guys. So we have another subject I'm ready to talk about, and it's going to be quick, but I'm going to talk about this. Look at the first picture. Stare at it. Love on it. Love it. All right, here's the next one about it. All right, so the reason why we're bringing this up, y'all, congratulations goes out to, hold on, let me get it there. This gentleman right there with the headset on, Eddie George. He is the head coach at Bowling Green University, the Falcons, yes. Why am I giving him congratulations? Well, this actually is the biggest rival between Toledo University and Bowling Green. Why? Because they're separated by 25.5 miles. It's insane. This rivalry is such a prominent rivalry. There have been careers saved on whoever wins or who loses this rivalry. It is that big. So Toledo goes up 21-0, and it looks like it's going to absolutely be a shellacking. Nope. Matt, there's a very ugly stat number that you and I absolutely hate. Shane's going to love this in a minute. That Bowling Green went on a 28-3 run. Yes, Matt, that stupid score, 28-3. But how awesome is this, though, that Mac Nation is back and it's better than ever. Real quick, start with you, Matt. What do you got to say to Eddie George? And then also, what would you like to say to Bowling Green for this monumental win for their rivalry?
Oh yeah, man! You got to give congrats to Eddie George, man. You have to give a congrats to him, man. He's doing a good job, with that program, man. Doing a lot better than people thought that he would. To be honest with you. So the fact that they, beat Toledo, man, all you can do is laugh, especially at the 20-3 run that they went on.
We're not going to talk about
23. Yeah, but I mean, shame on Toledo for blowing a 21-0 lead. But you know how it goes, man. You get up 21-0, you take your foot off the brakes. Take your foot off the gas, and you become lackadaisical, start doing bad habits. You can just see it there, man. I went back and I didn't get to watch the game. I went back and looked at a lot of the highlights, man, and it was just simple mistakes, man. Simple mistakes that they were making, and it could have all been avoided. So kudos to Eddie George and his team, man. They didn't. They went down. They got down 21-0, and they just kept fighting. They kept fighting and kept fighting and kept playing the game, man. And got to give them shouts out to them. As far as Toledo goes, Toledo's go. Can't even speak. As far as Toledo goes, heartbreaking loss, man. Heartbreaking loss for them. We'll just see how they can bounce back. We'll really see what they're made of now.
And like I said, some people lose their jobs in this particular rival because it's that intense. Before Eddie George got there, it was split 3-3. But before then, Toledo had won 9 in a row in that rivalry, and they won them pretty handily. So it's a big move. What do you think, Shane? Would you tip your cap to Eddie George and Bowling Green for getting this monumental win for that program?
Oh yeah, they they did what needed to be done, especially against a team that got out on them early, and kind of didn't see a sign of letting up until as Matt said, they just got real lackadaisical. Kind of looked like they got flat real quick. And that can happen, especially in rivalry games, which, this is as you mentioned, Brandon, a very heated rivalry. Yes. in leading up to the game, I did see a thing that Toledo, they've got a rocket on their campus that is pointed at the direct angle to land on Bowling Green's 50-yard line.
I'm not saying the amount of hatred those two schools have.
Yep. So, but as Matt mentioned, this Bowling Green team wasn't supposed to be that great, but Eddie George has got them playing, and you can tell that it's the program's starting to take a turn in the right direction for them for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Real quick before we go to Shane's story, I want to let everybody know it was a fantastic week in the NFL. We saw a couple names get their pink slips. Brian Callahan has gotten his pink slip at Tennessee. That was kind of be expected. I think the reports are his dad's going to leave as well, which, again, you fire my son, I'm going to leave right behind him kind of thing, because that's not fair to keep me but not my son, who is a lot younger than me at the time. But congratulations goes to mine and Matt's team, the Falcons, for getting that monumental statement win against the Buffalo Bills. Just a lot of fun in the NFL world. But Shane, you got a sports story to share with the world, man. The floor is yours.
Oh yeah, well, I kind of want to bring light to ex New York Jet center Nick Mangold. Has had a rough bout. He was diagnosed in 2006 with a rare genetic kidney disorder, and he's had a rough kind of summer of it. From what he said, and I was looking for donation help for a possible kidney replacement. It's one of those things that you hate to see. He said that unfortunately nobody in his family can step up at this time due to his blood type being O positive. Anybody out there that's willing to help, and is interested in it, you go to, I believe he got the site out there. It's columbiasurgery.org/kidney transplant. And just go up, look up his name, Nicholas Mangold. and if you're willing to donate. But it's unfortunate. Was a great player, star, Pro Bowler for many years of his career. So best of luck and best of health and best wishes to him and his family during this time.
Oh, absolutely. And Nick, we're cheering you on, man. We really are. Matt, you have a quick sports story. Share it with everybody, man. The floor is yours.
Yeah, man. I kind of want to touch on this little story that I came across. I'm going to keep it short. Pretty much the NBA is stepping into the future, and we're talking about like AI on the court. So this season, the league is experimenting with artificial intelligence, advanced tracking tech, and high-speed camera systems to assist referees and cut down the time it takes to review close plays. So pretty much, man, every game already has like dozens of like motion tracking cameras, recording thousands of frames per second, tracking players' positions, ball trajectory, shot arcs, everything. So the NBA is now going to use AI systems to process that in real-time data, identifying things like out-of-bounds calls, goaltending, shot clock violations, and even defensive 3 seconds, faster than a human eye could. So pretty much instead of the old method where refs huddle around a monitor for like 2 minutes and, the AI can instantly flag a play, send a replay angle and have the data confirmation and give the data confirmation to the ref's tablet, or to the replay center in Secaucus, cutting down the time as much as like about 50%. So, it's pretty much wild, man. Basically the computer's going to be calling travel before the whistle even blows. So, man,
you know what I got to say about this, right?
Yeah, but no. Notice though, the key word though is it's going to assist the referees. It's not replacing them. It's going to assist them and act like a super smart replay coordinator. Think of it as like
think of it as like the MLB.
Coordinator.
Yeah, or like
the MLB, but just a couple years behind it.
Or like the Hawkeye system in tennis or like VAR in soccer.
Are you going to start seeing, are we destined to see Arnold Schwarzenegger show up and say, come with me if you want to live?
He needs to shoot the last shot. If he doesn't, you will not win.
Come with me if you want to leave. And so basically what you're saying is Skynet is going to take over the NBA.
Hey, man, it looks like they're going to robotize basketball, man. Taking up the human element and that judgment call, that flow, but it's going to be more precise, correct calls. Hey, that's what they want, man. Because these games they end up lasting for 10 minutes, 15 minutes longer because it's like
what lasts long is an hour long. 3 seconds left in the game. It's an hour and a half long.
Hey, look, man.
Because the stupid foul game gets on my nerves. So
we're no longer going to hear "ref, you suck." Instead, we're going to hear "data, you're glitched." So that's what we're going to hear. That's what we're going to hear now, man.
Oh man, but and like I said, I'm okay with it until we see Arnold Schwarzenegger show up. When we see him, I'm going into a bunker. Just saying that. Now comes everybody's favorite moment. Yes, the honorable mentions. As you did see, guys, I made a post. Who is your honorable mentions that you would like to share? Type them out here, and we will share them with you guys. All right. My first honorable mention, Matt Shane, is going to go out to the University of Hawaii. Why? Because they did something again, and they won big. Ended a 9. Actually, by the way, folks, the last time Hawaii beat Utah State was 2010. That was a 9-game losing streak to Utah State. They won 44-26. They travel out to Colorado to take on Colorado State this week. By the time next Wednesday rolls around, when we have our good friend Rob DeMello of KHON2 on, we could be seeing Hawaii be bowl eligible. We're just saying on that one. Matt, who is your first honorable mention, sir?
Hey, man, my first one, I got to give it to these two gentlemen, man. They are rookies, and their quote-unquote swag is off the charts. You got to give it to Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboom, man, for the Giants.
Yes.
The way they took down the Eagles, man, and hey, you got to give it to them, man. Got to give it to them, man. I mean, the Giants, I hate to say it, the Giants had a great draft, and if the Falcons messed up this year, which they seem like they're coming back on, well, I was Giants. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. Fun fact, man, all my family are Giants fans. Me being from the Jersey area, they're all Giants fans. So I can always keep a kind of a close eye on the Giants and Jets to see what they're doing. But I got to give it to Jackson Dart and Cam Scott.
We ain't missing much in the Jets, that's for sure.
I know. 45 passing yards from their quarterback. That's wild.
Did you see that they fined Jackson Dart?
For what?
High five.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
he walks through the referee to it like that, like they
I
give a
saw
high
that,
five
yeah.
to the referee.
Hey, man. Hey, I've been listening to the
I had to
mic'd up.
rewind. I was like, "Is that real?"
Hey, I've been listening
He's
to
like-
Jackson Dart and Kim Scatterboo mic'd up, man. It's hilarious. You
I
got
love. He's
every
literally
week.
going
I
like
listen
this,
to
and
him
he
every
goes,
week,
"Oh,
man.
high five to the ref." I love
Yeah,
it.
man.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So
the ref
that's my
gotta find
first
too.
honorable mention right there.
The ref got a fine too.
Yeah, we got fined $1,000 for not throwing the flag on him for touching the ref.
Oh my god. Ticky tack, ticky tack, ticky tack. Shane, what is your first honorable mention, sir?
Oh man, my first honorable mention is going to highlight the game Thursday night there in Cincinnati, the Icy Hot Bowl. A rare occurrence, two quarterbacks over 40 starting against each other in Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco when the Steelers take on the Bengals.
The Ice Hot Bowl.
I'm sorry, it just clicked. I'm sorry, Shane. It just clicked. All right, my bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, I believe Cam Hayward.
And you see, he has like the best way of saying it too.
Yeah, it's a rare occurrence in the NFL. Two quarterbacks over 40 facing off against each other. Both of them Super Bowl winning quarterbacks at that. Should be a good matchup. I probably expect the Steelers to pull this one out, but just had to make mention of that, being those two quarterbacks facing each other.
I love it. My next honorable mention actually tags on along with you on this one, Matt. The NBA returns from its long-awaited break next Wednesday, the 22nd. Yes, looking forward to seeing the big matchups, the amazing highlights, which team or teams will turn heads. Also, by the way, Matt, Atlanta has been touted as now having the next big three. And according to ESPN bets, as well as Fox Sports, Atlanta has been linked to winning between 48 and 54 games this season. That's a big improvement compared to what they've done. Bob Rathman's even said this team looks more poised to make deep playoff runs than in years past. Could we see them make it all the way to the NBA Finals? That's up to be seen, but we'll see. Who is your next honorable mention, Matt?
Let's put it like this, man. You know, you're a high school running back. You know, you finish as, you're a 3-star recruit coming out of high school. You commit to play football at the University of South Carolina. You go to South Carolina for 4 years, man. You end up being 15th on the school's all-time rushing list. But it's not enough for you to get drafted. So, you go to the league. You sign as an undrafted free agent to the Dallas Cowboys. You give your heart, your blood, sweat, and tears to do everything you can for that organization. They say they don't want you. So you try to find a deal somewhere. You sign with the Carolina Panthers, and lo and behold, you have the Dallas Cowboys coming up on your schedule.
Yeah, and
you proceed to put a hurting on them. You old school DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, Diamond Breaker, Goldberg Spear, or the Hulkamania brother. You Hulkamania brother the Cowboys, and you run for 206 yards.
He was mad.
And you run in that first week against the Cowboys. I think he had like 180 something yards and a receiving touchdown. I mean, he is the reason why the Cowboys lost. So I say all that to give my honorable mention to Rico Dowdle, however you say his last name. He sent the Cowboys home, sent them with the tails between their legs, and I have to applaud him for that. So that is my second honorable mention.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Amen.
Sorry for the long-winded thing, guys. I just
second game, over 200 yards plus from scrimmage.
That's crazy.
In a row, yeah.
In a row. Yeah, that's what it was. He had 200 rushing yards last week, and this week he had like 180 something with like receiving yards.
Yeah.
So he got over 200 that way. So yeah, man, got to give it to him, man. Destroyed the Cowboys. They could not stop him. They did not have an answer for him.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Shane, what's your honorable mention, sir?
Honorable mention goes to the NBA side with you guys. Shout out goes out to Jason Kidd. Reported signing an extension with the Dallas Mavericks. I know it was rumored while the New York Knicks were searching for their coaching vacancy before they settled on Mike Brown, that Kidd was rumored to be part of that conversation. So, shout out to the Dallas Mavericks and Jason Kidd for getting an extension done. And from what we've seen this preseason so far, should be a contending team in the league this year, hopefully.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It really is. All right, so I got to bring this up, and this is very real. I promise you this is 200% real. First off, Brian Pettit's over here got jokes. Last week, I was talking to Shane, and Shane goes, you see our last name there is Owen. We've been Owen people our whole life. And I literally had taken a sip, and he said it, and I spit my drink out, so that's what Brian was talking about. But I got to give a shout-out to this gentleman right here, Brian Pettit. Why am I giving Brian Pettit a shout-out? Well, there's this little event that gets held every year downtown Greenville. It's called Fall for Greenville. Does anybody know who Adidas is by chance? If you don't know who Adidas is, you've been living under a rock. Brian got me in touch with the CEO, well, a CFO, I should say, of Adidas. And her and I have been having conversations, and there's a real good possibility she could sponsor us. Yes, the CFO of Adidas is considering sponsoring us. I will keep you guys up to date on that one. It means a lot to us if it happens. So I just want to give a shout out to him that is a possibility. Shane, what is your final honorable mention? Because Matt's getting the last one.
Final honorable mention goes out to a college football program there in Indiana. Mr. Kirk Signatti has got that ball club doing good things. Went on the road at one of the toughest places that I believe we can all agree to play in Oregon, and put it on them pretty good. They looked real good. I would say probably a top contender to win it all from what we've seen so far. They've got a couple more good tests coming up, but I want to shout out them and going on the road and staying undefeated this year.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a big win for that program. They were in disarray just a few years ago, and here we are talking about them potentially. And people were saying after last year's game could it be a fluke at Indiana? And so far it has not been a fluke. So yeah, absolutely. Congratulations goes out to Indiana. Matt, what is your final honorable mention, sir?
170 rushing yards on 19 carries, and then 68 receiving yards on 6 catches. 81-yard touchdown run, longest rush of the season so far.
Actually, second longest rushing ever in the Falcons history, behind who?
Himself.
Work done. Work done with his 98-yard run for a touchdown. What year was that? Do you remember, Matt? What year was that?
I do not remember what year. 90 what?
It was the early 2000s.
Was it 2000? It was actually 2000s. Okay.
Yeah, 2004 5 range.
Well, my my honorable mention here is going to go to Bijan Robinson, best quote unquote running back in football right now. I think but also I'm going to give it to whole Atlanta Falcons as a whole. Not just because I'm biased, but they showed the potential of what they can be last night in front of the world. I think it's been 7 years since they were on Monday Night Football. The last time they were, how long?
Yeah, it's been 8 years, and it's been a long time.
I think the last time was that Saints game when they played against the Saints and they modeled with Devontae Freeman, or was it another one afterwards? That Saints game.
The last time they won on Monday Night Football, it was the Saints. The last time they won on a nationally televised game was when,
Exactly. It probably didn't happen. So nah, man, got to give a shout out to the team, man. They showed great poise yesterday, especially and that's what I want to see. You knew the second half was going to be changes and there were going to be adjustments. So you wanted to see how the Falcons were going to come out. And they were still aggressive offensively. It just didn't happen for them. They weren't able to score in the second half. But the defense showed up to play, man, and that's all that team needs, man. If they do what they need to do and that defense continues to play like that, I can see something like how, Russell Wilson in his rookie contract, how they won a lot of games before everybody started wanting money and things like that. I can see the kind of the same trajectory for this particular team as long as they keep their head on straight. Not to get too overzealous with it, not to get too overreactionary with it, But
no, but it's a big win regardless for them.
That was a big win for this particular team, man. It's been a big win in a long time. So, it's good to see their young pieces coming together. But not only, I think people are more hyped that the defense is coming along as good as it is with their young players. So
I got a stat for you. You ready to hear this?
What's the stat you got?
Multiple stats. The last time Atlanta was above 500 was 2016. That's including the 17 because the 17 season. They were above 500, but they really weren't because they struggled at the very end of the season. But it's almost been a decade since Atlanta has been above 500. Atlanta, for the first time since the 2016 season, leads the league in both offense and defense. They're the number one defense in the entire league, and they're the number two total offense in the entire league, which is tremendous. The last time that feat particularly happened with literally both offense and defense was 1998 when Jamal Anderson was the running back for the Atlanta Falcons. Chris Chandler was the quarterback. Woo. And this is an even crazier stat. Bijan Robinson is now the third ever NFL running back to have as many yards as he has. It's over 500 yards rushing and 300 yards, almost 300 yards receiving. The next person behind that is Emmitt Smith.
I want to say this. Look at Shane down there, man. He's like, he's staying quiet, but he's like, we beat y'all 3 to nothing. I don't know what.
Yeah, you know what? No, who cares? But just saying, this is pretty monumental for Atlanta.
Hey. But hey, no. Sorry, brother. I'm sorry to interject, but I got to give props to Shane and his Carolina Panthers for taking down the Cowboys.
3-0 at home, by the way.
Yeah. Hey,
3-0
I ain't gonna lie.
At home.
I did laugh at the team before preseason. I did. I said they're not gonna win anything. I laughed at the team. I laughed at the makeup for the team. But honestly, it's like their offense that they're playing. Those boys are playing, man. That defense is playing. Defense is overperforming. But this is one of those years where it's like you're going to overperform, get a lower draft pick when you really should be in contention for a top 3 pick. You're probably going to get a 8, 9, 10 in that area. And but hey, man, y'all have a heck of a season, solid season, man. I got to give it to the Panthers, man.
All right, well, I'll take it.
Take it any way you can, But just think about this for a second, Matt. It's been that long since we've really had something to be excited about. This is a signature win for Raheem Morris. I still think Raheem Morris has to win the whole dadgum Super Bowl to even save his job. I'm just saying that. That's just me, though. I'm not really giving any credit to Raheem Morris. The person I'm absolutely giving the defensive credit to is definitely Jeff Ulbrich. The dude had to play chess with the Buffalo Bills and number 17 on the other side of that field. Josh Allen, you are never out of any game as long as Josh Allen is your quarterback.
Yeah,
and
that is true.
100% sure, and yeah, you're right. The second half, the Bills made absolute adjustments. They did fantastic on that run, and yeah, just amazing win. And we cannot wait to see if that winning continues. They 1 good, 2 okay, 3. That's when you win 3 in a row. That's when you start talking about streakiness, and if they win next week, we have another nationally televised game. It's NBC nightly game. Yeah, we're playing the Niners. Yep, Brian Pettit's team. We're playing the Niners. So, just stay tuned for that one. Hey guys, we have had an absolute amazing episode. Shout out to University of Texas Rio Grande Valley for Jonah Goldberg for coming on our show and talking to us. Which, by the way, y'all, he looks really young, didn't he?
Yeah, man.
He aged himself because he said he still balances his checkbook, and the only person I know who still does that is my mother-in-law. So, just saying on that one. Just saying on that one, guys. We have a lot of big episodes coming up, and we're going to quickly go over them here with you. This Friday, the 17th of October. Yes, it is episode 159. But we have a good friend of mine. His name is Sean from the Facebook page Atlanta Braves Chop Live. They are an in-depth page that looks directly for the Atlanta Braves. They can bring you all the Braves content like this. They have over 360,000 followers and subscribers between all their networks. So that's really fantastic that they have agreed to come on to our show. The next Tuesday, it's going to be a double episode. What does that mean? It's a 2-team episode. We have 2 colleges on. The first will be Newberry College. They are an NAIA football program. And the next one falls right suit after that one. It is Maryville College football program. They too are NAIA program. We're going to talk to them because both of them are leading the charge in the success of their football program. Newberry, I believe, is 5-1, and Maryville is undefeated at 5-0. Really excited to talk with them. And if we do have time, we may take a little bit of small talk after them, but I'm not holding my tongue on that one just because the possibilities of us going prolonged in that episode. And then Wednesday, the 22nd, that Wednesday, yes, it will be episode 161. However, the sports director of KHON2, Rob DeMello, is joining. Thank God we finally got him to come on. I've idolized him for a long time, and I'm really excited to hear him talk about sports. We're going to talk some basketball, both men's and women's, and of course football, because could the football program be bowl eligible at that time? That's a possibility. And then, of course, we will have our traditional episode on Friday, October the 24th. It is episode 162. Then Tuesday, the 28th, it will be episode 163. We have the athletic director of Utah Tech coming on. Yes, it's a real program. There will not be an episode on Halloween, Friday the 31st, for obvious reasons. It's Halloween. I will be taking my kids to trick or treat. Matt has things he has to attend to. Shane's going to also have some things he has to attend to. I believe he's going to be doing trick or treating. If I had to guess, he's doing trick or treating with those two little boys. Am I right, Shane?
I don't know. Don't have any plans yet. Trick or treating is not one of my favorite things. Too many people for that. Like I'm one to go to all the sporting events and concerts and everything else like that, and be in 100 to 150,000 people in a heartbeat. But trick or treating is not the best thing about it. Is the tax that you can create. Like, ooh, that looks good. Let me try that out for you.
Let me taste this to make sure that doesn't poison you. As kids, to make sure there was no razors in any of your candy and whatnot.
That's wild.
You know what?
That's
and
wild.
then real quick, want to let you guys know we just got this guest booked. I had the hiccups. They were booked today, Tuesday, November the 4th. Y'all, there is a football program, a college football program that was doing really well. Then they disbanded 12 years ago. They're making a comeback. It is Whittier College. They're a Division III program based in California. They're at their SID. Corey White is going to join us November the 4th to talk about that program. I mean, as you see, we cover a lot of small and a lot of big. So shout out to all those who have agreed to come on our show. We're not done yet. We have a lot more guests we're still booking. So Matt's working on some things with some basketball players. Shane's working on some things. Bryan's working. We're working feverishly to bring you guys the quality entertainment. Real quick, Matt, I want to let you know I did a guest appearance today on our good friend Ralph Williams' show, the Sports Corner with Ralph Williams and Smoking Joe, Jim Frazier. Well, I used your favorite quote. You know, when you tell everybody what you say when you're leaving and going goodbye. I said on there, I'm going to quote Matt, and here's what I'm going to say. If you want to partake in some adult libations, don't do it and drive. If you're going to drink, stay at home or get a ride share. We're not bailing you out. And the last thing you want to have behind you is those whoop whoops. Both Ralph and Jim cracked up when I said the adult libations and the whoop whoops behind you. And I said, I can promise you now, none of us is going to bail you out of jail. So don't drink and don't drive.
Yeah, credit the whoop whoops to Shane O'Matic down there.
Yes, this the whoop whoops.
Yeah. The originator of the whoop whoops.
There you go. Hold on. There he goes.
There we are.
There we go. Whoop, whoop. Guys, we have had such a fun time talking to you guys. Thank you for spending the time with us, for this hour and a half to talk to us about sports and in general. I know we had a lot of people tune in. It really does mean a lot. You have no idea how much this means to me, to Matt, to Shane, to everybody, that y'all taking your time out of your evening to come and spend it with us. And we greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, for everybody who tuned in tonight, for our guest that we had, Mr. Jonah Goldberg, University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. Matt, what do you tell everybody not to get done, sir?
First of all, I want to thank everybody, every listener, one listener at a time. Thank you guys for every additional listener that we get, one at a time. Slow and steady wins the race. That's what I try to tell Brandon. Slow and steady wins the race. But nah, man. Guys. Look, man. It's the middle of the week. I get it. Work is hard. Things happen. But I'm seeing a lot of people at these bars on Wednesdays and Tuesdays. So guys, just ease up a little bit, man. It's the beginning of the week. Ease up a bit. If you're gonna drink, make sure you don't drive. Just go ahead and get to the house. Knock a few back there at the house, man. Again, last thing you want is the whoops behind you. Because once they get behind you, it's not gonna be pretty. It's Tuesday. You're gonna be sitting in. You ain't gonna see no judge this week. You're gonna be sitting in there all weekend. All weekend long. So just get home first. Knock a few back. That's if you're a calm, drinker. If you're an aggressive drinker, then you just need to put it down altogether and don't even deal with it. But yeah, guys, don't get flagged in the game of life. That's it.
I laugh every time he says the whoops. I die laughing.
Man.
But Shane, what do you say to everybody?
Oh yeah, well, I'll reiterate what y'all say, and just everybody be safe. Remember, love everybody. May the good Lord bless you, and peace, love, and bacon grease.
Peace, love, and bacon grease, indeed. And you go, guys.
I'm sorry. No, if you think about it, though, man, bacon grease is kind of disgusting. What do you do with it? Do you pour like on your?
You cook it.
You cook
I know you cook it. I know you cook the bacon and then the grease that's remaining.
No, you cook the eggs.
Yeah,
cook the eggs and the bacon grease.
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Always fry bacon or cook sausage before you do your eggs.
See, I always scramble. I always scramble my eggs. I always scramble.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to fry them. I'm gonna fry them next time. I'm gonna fry them in the bacon.
No,
bacon grease next time.
No,
scramble.
The scramble in the bacon grease or the
sausage
grease.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You don't know what you're missing.
See, this is why, Shane. This is why I laugh, because Matt has been in the South for so long. He's still got that northern whatever things with him, and he'd sit there and say what we said. That's the southern thing to cook in the bacon and sausage grease. That's the way.
Bacon grease. I can look. The only thing I know bacon grease for is popping on you when you're trying to cook the bacon. That's what I know. That's what I know bacon grease for.
You don't have a jar right there by the oven. To pour your bacon grease in after you get done?
Nah, see what we did was we poured it in the aluminum foil. We had the aluminum foil. We wrap it up and then pour it in the aluminum foil, man. That's how we did it. That's how we did it. That's how we did it over here, man.
Yeah, whatever. You put it in there and you had to use it to cook with, save it, and take it.
Yeah. Of course, moms when she fried the chicken or whatever, man, she poured it in a Tupperware and put it back in the fridge. Yep. Of course.
That's the way to do it. So yeah, but as you know, guys, as I always tell you, peace up, A-Town down White. It's the greatest sports city there ever was. Congratulations to the Falcons on a massive win. Let's keep up the success, guys. We will see you on Friday. Enjoy this outro. Matt really worked hard. And by the way, if you haven't seen them yet, there are new shorts that have been posted. One talking about the 10-year wedding anniversary as Matt's clicking his head, and then the
new
other one
tomorrow. Got new shorts coming tomorrow too, boy. I'm about to give him the Brandon I got him lined up, ready to roll.
And then shout out to our good guy Vince Papali. His shorts out there talking about how he got his $21,000 contract and made a huge difference. So go check them out. They're on YouTube at the Sportz Nutz 176. You guys have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you on Friday. Good night.